Transmisja działa, tak? Dobrze. So please some kind to take a seat. We start with the next panel. We initiated this Schuman Trimarium Forum yesterday, and basically we started from issues related to integration, political integration of the Trimarium region, and we identified that this politics or political community or geopolitics has a very big impact on the economy or culture and, generally speaking, development of many areas in the social life. So this was a very strong statement of the Professor Gross, and I think we agreed, and the Excellency Ambassador from the President of Poland confirmed that, showing, the numbers and interests of these all countries in our region for big integration, cooperation and creating a community in which we can develop different areas. Like, for instance, today Professor Pablo de la Fuente mentioned about the importance of development, the common military industry. So this example shows us that we like, to develop this cooperation in many other areas. And in that panel, we are going to talk about how to strengthen the cooperation in research, development of the technology, development of the different scientific thoughts, and the common cooperation in application for as well European funds. So we get the presentation from Victoria from Budapest, from Hungary. She left today in the morning back to Budapest, and she presented that out of the all European funds sent for dedicated for research, we in that region we get nothing, almost nothing. So you've seen these numbers. We have this presentation, so there is available, so we can send this information to everyone. So the majority of that is delivered to Germany, France, and Netherlands. So conclusion out of that was yesterday that we need to be more integrated, cooperative by application for these funds, and as well to find out what are the additional financial instruments we can develop and work on together in this region, so that to increase the potential of our scientific activities, not only theoretical activities, but especially these activities which can be applied in the real life, like, for instance, as well in the military industry and in the business. So most practical approach as it is possible. So today I would like, to ask our experts, let's say, about this, how you view, how you anticipate, chance to, and how you would like, to basically mobilize, the universities in our region to get these outcomes. So in our panel we have Professor Margaret Krickenburg from Hague University. You had opportunity, to see her. I just would like to mention that we have a huge number of viewers in internet, and this because this is an English version of this conference, so this will be distributed to many countries in that region. Next we have a Professor Marcin Szewczak, who is a Vice Marshal of this region. And I would like to mention that he, in the office of the Marshal in Lublin, had initiated the coalition of around, I think, 30 universities around the Trimarium region, and there is a potential. They signed up kind of a general agreement, and this is a very good starting point to foster, to develop, you know, based on that what you did, you know, these actions, these activities we are going to talk now. And as well, you know, it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Skrzydlewski, who is a rector of that university. Thank you very much indeed that you get chances to be here, to use this, I mean, a spot, it make more possible to organize that event. So let's start probably from the Marshal. We would appreciate, you know, your response to that issue I am raising.
Thank you very much, Professor. Hello, everybody. I'm here in two roles, as the professor said. One, since almost 4 years, like a Vice Marshal of this region. And the second, as a professor of the Catholic University of Lublin. I'm working on the Faculty of Law, and my fields of interest is regional development, special insight of the European Union and this region, Central East Europe. At the beginning, I would like to say you some my few words from the history. Almost exactly 20 years ago, after my studies on the Catholic University of Lublin, I was starting something like the Master Studies in Budapest. I was there by 1 year. It was joined by the Peter Pazman Catholic University and Sandhurst University in Milan. And we had in the same, like we are sitting today, international group, around 20-25 students from every country from the European Union. Also this country, which are joining on the 1st May of 2004. That's why from the Poland I was just one. And then we have the professors from the other countries. And I meet then the professor from the Institute of Diplomacy in Vienna, and we are speaking about the profession of the future work for the public administration in these countries of the European Union. And he said some words, and I remember this word almost every day, that working for the public administration, working for the country, it's not a usual job, it's kind of profession. If you don't feel this, that this is profession, you will not be good worker. And from my opinion, by these 20 years, the Poland and the whole area of the Central Europe changed in the big position, but we have to remember that we are not in the good geographical position, because we have the east, you know what happened on the east side, and we have the west. Now, from the few years, we have the European Union changing the political point of view, special for the Poland and other countries, and it's not good for the future. And that's why we are trying to organize some people, some organization, university also, in the Trimarium area. as the professor said, we organized four times in Lublin, the Congress, local self-government Congress of the Trimarium, and we established the network. One is the network for the regions. We have almost 25 regions from the countries like Poland, Lithuania, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Hungary, and also plus the regions from the Ukraine, especially the West Ukraine. And 2 years ago, we established during the Congress the university network of the Trimarium. The Catholic University of Lublin is the leader of this network, and on the Congress who was in this year, we joined another universities, and we have two plans, two roads for the development of this network. One is to create something like study research about Trimarium area. That's why it's a very good place for such discussions like we are today, and we want to collect many professors who are interested in this area, because we want to create maybe not studies about Trimarium, but you know that we are teaching the students, for example, about the public administration. We want to show them that we have the common history, common culture, and we have to support. It's a great idea, like in Schumann, Institute of Schumann, because you have the opportunity to meet. And I remember, from my point of view, by these 20 years, I have the friends from this my studies in Budapest. They are working in the public administration. They are also professor, and it's something nice to speak with them. And then we have create some kind of project. So for the future of Central Europe, we have to organize together, because I think you know that from the German point of view, the Central Europe is area just for the workers, and from the East point of view, it's area just for the travel by the Poland, by the Czech Republic, Hungary to the West, and we have to organize themselves to create the new space for Europe, because we have the problem in the European Union. We have the problem with the illegal migration. We have the problem with the climate changes. You know, everybody what's happening now in the south and west south of the Poland. So everything is changing, and the future of the Central Europe will depend on this kind of projects to create the new space. And I think that the university network of the Trimarium, it will be a good position to start discussion about the future of the Central Europe, and also create new people. We need new people who are thinking about the future of the Europe, that the Central Europe is the crucial point to develop the whole Europe.
Thank you. So, Margaret, Professor Margaret Rittenbrook, could you share with us, what kind of ideas you could have about the financial instruments of funding, the research based on your experience in Netherlands, and some kind of suggestions, so that, as I said, the integration, the coalition within the universities in that Trimarium region can start to be more effective and more to obtain a higher potential.
Thank you very much for your question also. Again, I'm happy to be here, and I'm also a teacher of Spanish, de modo que, bueno, muy bienvenido. Entonces, yo encantada. escucharle también y la afirmación. Muchas gracias, señor. So, to tell you the truth about funding, I'm the worst person to ask about funding. I'm really very sorry to say so, but I do have a kind of solution to this kind of problem. Yesterday, I already mentioned it, but I mention it again because I think it's so hugely important that Schuman started the first peaceful revolution ever in Europe. And that he was able to start with two arch enemies, France and Germany. I just repeat it because I think it's so important to know this. For more than 1,000 years, they were really arch enemies. He started a peace project, putting the instruments of war, coal and steel, so natural resources, as he used them as instruments of peace, putting them at a supranational level so that they were no longer French or German. I think this is a way of thinking that is really unique and that we all need in order to try to solve problems and to not have this weapon industry that we are having now, and that is needed, unfortunately, because we have to defend, to be able to use as a deterrent. But I think it is really that we are having a problem of sickness here. And now, having said all that, now on a positive note, what I want to say is that what I do at my university, at the Hague University of Applied Sciences, there are students from all over the world, so not only from Western Europe, also from Eastern and Central Europe, and also from Asia, Australia, United States, and Africa. And we have the COIL project, that is a Collaborative Online International Learning Project, and it is an online project, so it doesn't cost anything. So I think that is a kind of funding in that sense. So what we do is, it is about personal leadership connected to core principles of European integration, and those core principles are Schuman's principles. So, and an extra thing that I just want to say about that, we have never had such a long period of peace among the EU member states as since the Schuman Declaration of 1950. That implies also that we have peace, that there was not a third world war. What was then also in the 1950s, it was really a very dangerous period, and you all know this because you had the Russian occupation and so on and so forth, communism. So I think also, and another thing is so that there has not been this war, what is very positive. And also, I think, as Eastern and Central European countries, it is good to know that 20 years ago, before becoming a member of the European Union, the situation of the country was really not as good as it is now, economically speaking. So economically, I think the Eastern and Central European countries really improved quite a bit. Okay. Having said that, I know there are problems, and especially in the vision, the ideology vision. We can speak about that another time. But okay, so what I do with the personal leadership part is I focus on the virtues. I ask the students, first of all, when you go, why are you sitting here? I have a class, I just give a kind of an idea of how a class goes, you know, so that you get an idea of how this works. 29 students from all over the world. I ask them, okay, why are you taking this elective? Because it is an elective. They want to know, I mean, yesterday we spoke also a little bit about it. They want to know how to command another person. I said, okay, this is then the wrong course, because it's about personal leadership. You cannot lead another person if you cannot lead yourself. That's one. Then, next question, what is the main aim in life? And you know, silence. Main aim in life, who knows the main aim in life? Okay, first they say healthy, to be healthy. Okay, you know, also when you're sick you can be really happy. So, okay, so in the end it is happiness, to be happy. Yeah. Bin Laden also wanted to be happy. What did he do? He killed half of mankind. What is happiness? So then the question is, what is happiness? Then, okay, so they don't know. And then I say, I know. And that sounds extremely arrogant, I know. I have to laugh also, because but I say it is the truth. It counts for you and it counts for me. Get silence. What will this be? She knows, wow. So, I said, you know, to try to become the person you're meant to be. I think in this ambience I can say, by God, but that I don't say. To try to become the person you're meant to be. I know already what the next question will be. You probably too. But then how do I know who I am meant to be? All those 29 students, each one has to say a quality. I said, okay, what kind of qualities would you like to see in another person? Well, that he is honest, nice, trustworthy, you know. Everybody has to say another quality. So it becomes ever more difficult, of course. When you're number 29, it's really difficult. What kind of quality can I think of? Okay, I write them all on the board. And then I say, okay, sorry, but I missed one quality. I said, one quality, what is that? Humility. Ooh, humility. People don't like it. Usually people don't like to hear this word humility, you know? But then it's because it's a lack of understanding what is humility. Humility, and then it's usually a person from the Eastern countries, so from the primario, who knows the answer. Because humility is the truth. You don't pretend to be someone that you're not. And when you're one talent, you're happy with your one talent because you live in harmony with who you are. You don't try to do as if you have 2 or 3 or whatever. When you have 10 talents, you use your 10 talents and not 6 or 7. Because you know you become passive, you become light. Then, in order to make the link with the core principles of European integration, let's look at Schuman. Schuman, he is declared venerable in 2021. So that means that he lived the virtues to a heroic degree. So, and what did Schuman want for the European integration project? What he wanted was the person at the heart of all structures. Economic structures, political structures, juridical structures, all structures, but always in connection with the common good. And this last part, that is many times lacking. I know, because we live in a very individualistic society, in the West at least. Yeah? So, and that is one of the causes, I think, individualism, hedonism and relativism are the 3 biggest problems that we have, and that should be worked against, or we should uproot it somehow, because it doesn't bring happiness. Anyhow, so this is the link that and then I had a student, okay, so we know the way Schuman solved the issues after the Second World War, more or less, is with an attitude of reconciliation. When there is this appreciative dialogue, when you really try to look for the good in the other person in another country, you find common interests. And when you find common interests, you build on those common interests. And if you don't find it, okay, you respect each other in each other's difference. And you can enrich each other. And this is a way of thinking, so this is reconciliation. Then solidarity. The solidarity in the 50s was coal and steel, working together in the field of coal and steel at a supranational level. Okay, so that was the solidarity, okay, and then subsidiarity, very important, I know, it's also especially here, I hear it a lot. Subsidiarity, don't give in more than needed. And this is also how Schuman himself safeguarded several of the real interests of Alsace-Lorraine, of his region. He did not, because he had to adapt all the laws when he was a parliamentarian in the French government. He had to adapt the laws of Alsace-Lorraine after the First World War to the laws of Paris. That was the laïcité. Where was the laïcité? So there were different laws. Okay, it's another story. I can tell about that later on if you want. So he adapted everything except for some that were typical of that region. And that were, for example, also social laws introduced by Bismarck, and also, well, religion, also at publics or at schools. So that was also there, and that was not done in the rest of France. And it's still a different kind of region, this region. Okay, having said all that, And then supranationality only when needed. So this is what I just said. When you have a big family, I explain it also to them like, okay, when you have a big family, every child is different. The child will blossom most when it can become the person he or she is meant to be. Yeah? And to help when you need to help. If you don't need to help, then it's good that the child himself or herself is challenged, to do whatever he or she can do. Yeah? And so it depends. The solidarity also in that sense depends on how much solidarity you give to what. And the supranationality also. So with this in mind, the students, so from all those countries, and we have about 200 in the auditorium, they present topics like migration, EU-Russia, climate. I will add now also the Trimarium, perhaps in the West, because I think that we really need to complement each other better, that we have to work together more. And then we have to look through Schumann's eyes and work towards a solution. How can we foster, how can we solve those problems? Okay, and I can just tell you that, also our board of directors, they are extremely happy. They call it one of the highlights when we have the annual International Schumann Student Congress. Next year we will have the 12th annual International Schumann Student Congress, because I did it from the moment I defended my PhD. I thought this is so hugely important. If people start looking through this paradigm, because we need a paradigm shift. We need a paradigm shift. We are now so much focused on from superficial. And this is what we also spoke earlier about. What is the vision? What is man? Who is man? That is so important. Man connected to the common good. But okay, so I think I just stop here now for the moment. But you can do it online, so that is for free. Yeah, so that's a good one.
So you explained us the secret, how the Schumann was acting and how we, getting acquainted with him we can obtain the model of his activity, how he was efficient. This is a secret about, how to be successful in creating a community integration and being successful in the project. So I think it's a very important ground and a base, to the issue we are talking about. So Professor Skrzydlewski, would you be so kind to refer to that issue and research, how we can, based on that created community in the Trimarium universities, develop research and any solutions, funding, financial instruments, or probably organizational, actions.
Thank you very much for question and invitation for this meeting. Professor Krysiak says that I'm a specialist, but it is not true. I'm a philosopher only, and I'd like to stress philosophical elements which we lost today in the contemporary world, not only in the Trimarium region. Which elements? First element, this is a science. When we think about the science, today we see technology, we see some experiments and everything what brings to us utilitarian profits. This is a good that science is able to bring us cell phones, satellites, new medicine. This is very important, but we don't have we have to remember about what is the science exactly. The science is a journey to the truth. The science, real science needs the wisdom. Real science needs communion of person, and this communion of person is called university. Today, we see destruction of science, we see destruction of university, and we see also destruction of education. Why? Because a lot of Europeans think that university, this is only government programs, buildings, but the true spirit of university, this is a communion of persons who wants to know the truth, wants to possess the wisdom. This is very important to be and live in the university. For me, university, this is the most important and most wonderful place on the earth. Why? Because this is a place of development of human person. Not only feelings, not only mind, but also our bodies, everything what a man really needs. Today we see some kinds of reduction of university to the utilitarian aim. So this is a dangerous for our culture, because without university we don't have a major person, we don't have a good politicians, we don't have a nation also. This is a source, university for me is a source of national culture. So how important is university for Poland? For example, we know the history first. University in the Poland, this is a Krakow Academy. Yeah? He played a very important role in the Poland independence, because was a big threat from Teutonic order, and he wants to destroy independence, not only Polish independence, but many different tribes want to be possessed by this country and this community. So, what I'm going to tell you, if we want to create today Trimarian region, straight and true, we have to develop a university science and true education. Education is a journey to the truth. So this is very important today, because we see that many politicians want to see in the university only instrument for political aims or ideology. So I would like only stress 3 things. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. Yes, if you, I would ask you to extend your speech in the direction you want this.
Yeah, about the financial issue to develop the Trimarian region. On John Paul II Catholic University of Lublin, on this academic year, the rector decided to give the priority for the students and professors who want to go as an Erasmus student or Erasmus teacher to the Trimarian universities. So it's the first thing. And the second, from my point of view, for the developing of this region and developing the university network of the Trimarium, the good position would be opportunity to take the money from the Trimarium and create the same solution like Erasmus, but exactly for the students from the Trimarium region, and give them the money from the Trimarium fund.
Thank you. This is interesting direction. So we are planning. With Professor Reichert and other professors to organize in Bratislava a meeting probably December or January next year, and we would like to discuss, the establishment of the Schumann scientific clubs within these universities and the network you have now, and as well discuss to promote and extend this program you mentioned, and as well to discuss more other topics, including as well some certain programs to be taught on these universities. So you are now asked to join that because your actions you did already. and this is very essential. And just please extend this our need to Marshal, the General Marshal, so that we just perform the supportive actions, not just removing or replacing what you did, but to get the extent of what you initiated, because this is a way how we can leverage getting a synergy on that what you initiated before. So, Professor Margaret, you want to say something, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that don't exclude the West. Because really what I noticed with the programs, that, for example, this program I just spoke about, where there are 29 students from all over the world, it is so beautiful to see that in the end, everybody wants to be happy. Everybody deep down wants the same thing. And it encourages this cultural enrichment, because there are also people from India. I also have a university from India involved and a university from Spain, Francisco de Vitoria de Madrid. Very good university. And those students, together with our Erasmus students that are from all over, they discuss in groups of 10 in WhatsApp groups, what is personal leadership, according to you, those basic things, virtues, and they all grow in intercultural understanding, in empathy, in trying to understand the other person. They learn so much from each other. So if you know what happens, I'm so happy also for the Dutch people that they are surrounded by other kind of people, because it is so enriching. The Dutch, they are so direct. Oh, the Indians, they are so docile. Oh, the Spanish are so going, your friends and me and so on. You learn so much, and you see your own shortcomings, and you see the other positive points of other cultures. So I think it is really, and also you ask for funds from the EU. This morning we spoke about the Horizon project, and also that if Primarium comes together with one project, great. Put it on the Horizon Fund, you will get funded. But work together, build those bridges. In the very beginning yesterday we also spoke about the two lungs. Schumann also he focused on there is West Europe and there is Eastern Europe, and they belong together. They're one Europe.
We are not excluding the West, but I have to tell you, the one situation 4 years ago when we are trying to create the network of the 3C regions, we were trying to invite the regions from every country from the 3C initiative, and as you know, we have the Austria, and the regions from the Austria. They said that, okay, but it's something like in the opposite to the European Union, and we don't want to join with you because you are doing something else to the opposite to the European Union. And the same situation was with the university network, because we have the partners bilateral agreements with the university in Austria and Germany, and we sent the invitation to the Austrian universities, and one of the professors write me also the same, that it's a good idea, but we think that it's not good for the whole European Union. You should create together with all the European Union, not separately as the Central East. So I'm not sure if there is a,
Okay, so that I don't know, because if you would ask me, I would say, yeah, you're welcome. So it might depend also on the people, but many times it depends on the people. We even spoke about it. If you don't get into this door, then try that door. If this window closed, try the next window. I mean, sometimes it is like that, but also if not, just an individual. For example, your university in this COIL, what I'm teaching. So this could be, then it's not Primarium, it's just one university. So this way you can also cooperate. I mean,
yeah, so concrete, you were invited to Bratislava. This is a concrete response. You invite other representatives from Netherlands or Bratislava. You invite, from Spain. So you have chance, you know, to prove, to create a balance. Because as you remember these numbers from yesterday, the entire funds, or majority of funds, are flowing to the Germany, France and Netherlands. So what is the reason? The reason is not that this region is excluding somebody from Western. The reason is that there is no balance. And through these actions, as the Marshal said, they were invited other universities to basically share how we can obtain this balance. And this is very important for creating the higher quality of the community in entire Europe. So the community on the eastern side is underdeveloped, and we know that about, I mean, regarding, you know, the infrastructure, energy sector, and so on. The reason why Freezes Initiative arise is that underdevelopment, and therefore on the western side is to join this action. So creating, trying to foster, to strengthen the community in this region is not to exclude somebody from Western. This is a challenge to Western to join, to strengthen this Eastern leg, okay? So therefore, you with happiness receive the invitation, invite other colleagues, so we will see how they will react. So you will get, I mean, a confirmation, or it will be a real information about how they approach. So we believe with Schumann we can attract them, because what we do, Schumann Trimarium Forum, is just sending the message to the Western. Schumann is your land friend. It's your. When I was, you know, in Italy a few years ago, 300 people from France, Netherlands, Spain, and Italy, Germany, and I get a speech about Schumann. Afterwards, they approach and say, "Professor, I never knew about that. The Schumann was so splendid guy." This response were arriving from Italians, Germans, and French. So our project is just to create this balance which is not existing today.
I agree with you, absolutely. Schumann was a person who brings to us true Western rules to the politics. And this rule says that morality is first. Common good, this is a real aim of all political actions. So I would like to stress only one thing in my presentation. To recognize the identity of the West and identity of politics and social life, we need university. We need a quiet place where people talk and people looking for the truth. And I'm very glad that this meeting is in Zamość Academy, the second university in Poland. So I see the chance for our development. I would like to meet you many times, so I'm very happy to see you.
So, Professor, thank you very much for developing that. What is the basic at the science and the universities? And we touched the certain point, Schumann Academy. As we talked yesterday, Margaret, you received and you became very happy on your face, saying, yes, Schumann Academy is a universal proposal for entire Europe. The left and right leg, or just Western and East leg, right? So the Schumann Academy. So this is what we would in this form, in this way, we would like to attract everybody. So the audience wanted to have some attention.
Thank you very much. I have one question, but I think to all prelegents. How do you perceive the current diminishing of role of humanistic science in teaching agenda? How do you think, what would be the consequences of removing it? Because we are witnessing this process and, well, I'm a little bit worried about that. Thank you.
In my opinion, when we lose humanistic science, also philosophy, we destroy university and we destroy the heart and mind of Western citizens. So we need really philosophy, and philosophy play a very important role in the university. I don't have a philosophical faculty in my university, but I try to prepare a program for this faculty because this is necessary. This is necessary. This is the beginning of true human education. Without anthropology, without ethics, without philosophy of law, we don't understand nothing. We don't understand. So it's necessary to come back to true philosophy. For me, this classical philosophy, true philosophy, belongs to the Thomas Aquinas tradition and Aristotle and Plato. So not German thinkers like Hegel, Schopenhauer, and Heidegger or Derrida or different person, because this activity, like I said about German philosophers, generally destroyed human rationality, human reason. So it's not my opinion. If we know, for example, doctrine of John Paul II, if we know the encyclic Fides et Ratio and many different works of John I, we can find the same sentence in opinion.
So Joris.
I think that it's a real problem now about the humanities, because as you know, we have in Poland and in other countries of the Europe the big chance for the other country studies, the special medicine, and this is a big problem in Poland exactly, because we have still too less the students of the medicine, and the humanities it's a heart of the science, and without this kind of studies we have no opportunity to create good people who will be working later for the state. You know, we have create a good doctors, a good engineers, but we need the people who will understand what is the heart of the state, what is the crucial point for every state. For example, for the Poland, we need the future, the young people who understand that we must remember about our past and must remember about our future. We are not just workers from the last minute. We need to be for the state, and this is the crucial point. And I think the humanities must back for the position from the previous years. Of course, it will be very difficult because we have demographical problems. Also here in this part of the Lubelskie region, in the next 20-25 years, probably it will be less around 20% of the people living here in this region. So it's a big problem also for the universities and also for the state.
Thank you. I think I can only agree with what is said. I think it's hugely important. The history, the future depends a lot also on the history, and learn from history. Look what Schumann did. But I think instead of adding similar things to what you said, you know, there is a saying that Schumann says, he says, if you make of this project, European integration project, a technical, economical project without the soul, then sooner or later it can fall apart. Having said this, I also want to mention one thing, and that is, I think, very hopeful, because there's always something like conscience. So I don't think it will get that far. I hope it is. And because there is the conscience, like what Sophocles already had, even, you know, people that do not believe, like the Western world, many people do not believe, and things like that. Sophocles already said that there are those inalienable rights, the rights inside us that count always everywhere. Okay, and we know that Plato and Aristotle said the same, continued with this. And then we had Cicero also saying this in the Republica. So, and I believe, and also when I saw those 29 students saying all kinds of everything, I asked them, who is against one of those qualities? None. This is so nice. This is natural law. This is what you call natural law. Because everybody deep down wants the same. You want to be a good person, and you want the other person to be a good person. Because you are the other person for the other person, you know? So I think deep down, this conscience, if we have a well-formed conscience, that is the thing, well-formed. But it gets well-formed if we train ourselves in virtues. I'm convinced about that. Then also our mind becomes more clear, we see better what is important, and so on and so forth. So I think that as a practical thing I can add to it.
Okay, just two short comments from the audience, and we will finish. Just comments, not the questions, so that not to extend that discussion.
Okay, thank you. And for short comment, dear colleagues, actually I think we must not pretend that our universities, especially Western universities, are the same universities as they were for a long time. What I mean? I mean that simple statistics, that more than 90% of academia professors are counted, or they treat themselves as they are liberals, leftist liberals. This statistics is pure statistics. You may treat it as you wish, but the reality is that universities are closing minds. And Alan Bloom, for example, American political philosopher, has written the book in late 80s, 1980s, The Closing of American Mind. A few authors recently, a few years ago, followed this path and wrote the book Coding American Mind. So they reflect very unpleasant situation in Western universities. And I think what you have said about the reluctance to cooperate with Lublin Catholic University is on the same path. The sickness, the illness of this closing American mind, or closing the university mind, the essence of this sickness is ideology-based dominance. Left-wing ideology, in American context, it is called liberal ideology, but it doesn't matter the words. They are closing debate, they are closing the essence of university. The essence of university, as our rector perfectly expressed it, it was based on universitas, Latin. It is general knowledge based on the cultivation of a man, not just cultivation of profession which will adjust itself to the market needs. Human being is not the element of the market. Human being is much more. It's a subject of the virtues. University must follow the cultivation of the virtues, not the cultivation how to successfully get bigger salary on the market. So leftist ideology, and I am speaking not from my point of view, but from the statistical point of view, liberal leftist ideology closing the debate culture within the universities. We are not getting the possibility to debate freely all the issues. What does it mean? It means the end of the science. Science must have the possibility to debate all the aspects, including unpleasant to your ideology. So referring to these American authors, referring to the reality, if you follow the political reality in American context, I mean George Floyd riots and what followed in the universities, safety spaces within the universities, in American context. What the Ukrainians from the front line could tell about safety spaces. You know, safety for us is the attack on our physical integrity, right? It is real danger. What is the real danger in the universities, right? So all of these patterns show that university is in crisis, in deep crisis. Education is in crisis also. So what for me means Schumann ideas, it is the invitation to get back to the classical education, to the cultivation of virtues and of general knowledge, not just to be adjustment to the market, to be open to even hostile ideas you possess. Okay, this is the essence. To meet at the university sphere as much as possible different outlooks, different positions, different attitudes. Not closing the minds, not closing them, but opening. So Schumann's ideas, I believe, invite to open university, to open mind, not to close. Okay.
Thank you very much. I don't want to speak really a lot, to be short, but you started and I will continue. Let's say don't be political correct. Maybe it will be offensive, but don't take it in such a way. A lot of topics we can discuss. Maybe to what I wanted to express. You mentioned Bratislava professor. Professor, don't take it like an offense, yeah? But when I hear the University of Comenius, yeah, we can speak about equality, about money, how they make their research. But what I'm looking on the Trimarium and the border is the eastern border. And why Bratislava, why not Prešov, which in June signed this memorandum in Lublin, I think, yeah, Associate Professor Kardis, I read it. So what's the idea? What I wanted to propose is that, okay, just go to the project strategically, because we are facing, let's say, what you said is idealistic, yeah, version. But we have also idealistic and realistic. Realistic is that probably borders will change. Maybe some don't want to hear it, but we need to be prepared for facing of that. And we are, for example, the only one university, or let's say the Vijal, yeah, the institute which is focusing on cross-border cooperation. Doesn't matter if Polish, but now we are concentrating to the CDC with Ukraine. What was changed, how it helped, etc., making research. Connecting to Ukrainians. The problem is really a lot of time for speaking, but universities are facing the problem with financial supporting from the government based on how many students we have. For example, in Slovakia. What's happening? Demographically, we haven't the mass of people, and we are, let's say, hiring very openly in Ukraine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just going to the street and hiring. And what's happening? There, I'm not attacking anybody, yeah? Just don't take it in such a way. But what else with them? They will have the university teaching everything, not like in USA, everything is free. They are, let's say, we are giving money for additionally for them, but they are not staying, for example, there. There was mentioned there that I'm studying and I make some revenue, or how to say it, yeah, just to bring it back to state or the society. And what we will do with them. If they are starting on bachelor, for example, and they are moving then to Bratislava, and in the second level of university studies, which are more, let's say, supported with money, we have nobody. From, for example, 15 students, we have only 3. And everybody is going to Bratislava. Just because employment, more opportunities, etc., etc. And it's attacking now, this project was built. Why? Because not only facing the problem of disparities between West and East, but also North, but we are now facing the same. You said, for example, Bratislava, but it's still not, let's say, it's not reducing this balance between West and East. So, why Ukrainians? I wanted to say that if we will, for example, concentrate on migration, just make some project based on that migration, because we are facing it, and have to, for example, to keep them here. Yeah, because migration was there before the war, after the war, it's still. But how it's changing our society, our mind, and extremism, for example, etc., etc., etc. But be very, let's say, sophistically concentrated on maybe some topic which is common, and have to face it and have to solve the problems which are going. Yeah, a lot of things I wanted to express, but just I'm, not starting to be nervous about the Comenius University or whatever. Just wanted to express that teachers are under the pressure. Now, what is happening on university is not only about the let's say, closing of discussion, but also the position of teacher, university teacher, what is the basis, is changing for project manager, idea creator, I don't know what. And we are reducing the time. We should concentrate on one part, mainly. Yeah, of course, research. But we are under the pressure. Maybe you not. But I see that many people or university teachers is still talking about the same symptoms, problems, and nobody is taking care about that. Yeah, and government, yeah, of course. Humanities reducing, natural more. Yeah, because of automotive, whatever. And then we are, let's say, looking that, oh, there is some extremism, there is some shooting, yeah, mainly on the Prime Minister. Why? Well, because people are starting to be under the stress. Let's say so.
Okay, let's conclude. You may invite and organize such a meeting in Prešov in February or March. Okay. So there was examples of Bratislava meeting. It's not just that we would like to focus everybody on Bratislava. So if you said something like that, confirm that by the action, okay, and organize in March or April a meeting in Prešov, and myself in person, I will arrive there, okay? So between a gentleman, if he's saying something, is able to do that. Okay? So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Margaret Crittenburg, Professor Szewczak, and Professor Chilewski. Thank you very much.